Check this out. Liefeld 86, Erik Larsen 84. This is, without a doubt, the strangest comic I have ever seen in a bargain bin. Hello everybody, Adrian9 here, new video on the channel, and today I'm gonna be talking about 3 comics that I found in a bargain bin in a comic shop nearby here in Santiago, Chile. I bought like 4 comics for under $1. Something that I like to do when I go to comic shops is to, of course, see if there is any opportunity to get a lot of comics for a very cheap price. But on top of that, I like to find indie comics that are either very strange, very indie, maybe black and white, something I never heard of before. I would like to talk about this comic, Berzerker. Gauntlet comics, I never heard before about it. Something that I found really interesting about this comic is, of course, the cover art that you can see here by Angel Medina, which you probably remember he did Spawn after Greg Capullo left. But on the inside, there are 2 pinups and art from Erik Larsen and Rob Liefeld. Very early art, 86, 84. So let's put this comic under the microscope to check some of that out. You definitely, if you like indie comics, Image, Liefeld, Larsen, you probably want to track down this comic. Well, let's check this comic first, because this is probably the reason why you are here in this video. For what I gather, Berzerker, I think there's only 1 issue of this comic, published by Gauntlet Comics, which is imprint from Caliber Comics. You probably know more about Caliber than this imprint. I don't really think they did a lot. So as you can see, the cover by Angel Medina, amazing art, amazing artist, really striking cover. I don't know if it's gonna be showing on the video, but it has like a offset printing defect. I don't know if you can see it. The colors are faded. It's kind of strange comic. The first impression that I had when I look at the cover was that probably this is an indie self-published comic, which kind of is. But anyway, I was thinking that probably I was supporting an indie creator, whatever. Then I checked the signature by Angel Medina, which, as I told before, was the artist on Spawn after issue 100. I think he started right away on issue 101. So let's check the art. I think you can see the style of the artist. If you are familiar with Angel today, you can really track down his style from here. Very good art. I think he did here like 12 pages or something like that. Check out this. Amazing. I don't know these numbers. For me, they look kind of the Spawn counter. You remember that one from early issues? And you know, they were used randomly. Check this manual. This was the style from the 80s, man. Like, I don't know if this one qualifies as an out loud comic, but you get the style. Amazing art. Great storytelling too. And that's it from Angel, you know. I think here read a biography of the character. Then I think these are reprints from another appearance of the same character. I don't like this art that much. I'm not crazy about it. It's really good though. The character design is very interesting. The art here is by Steve Adams. Not familiar with that guy. On this leather section here, there's more or less the story of the publishing of the character. Actually, it used to be Berzerker, used to be Terminator. And here's a little bit about that story. Really interesting too. I think everybody had a moment like that, like you have an idea and then years later somebody kind of improved your idea. So here is the art that really got me confused, because you have Erik Larsen and Rob Liefeld. It says here, I was a teenage Berzerker by a teenage Rob Liefeld. I wonder if they remember this art. And there is another piece here for Rob, and you can see this is really an artist in development here. The pose is really strange, and it kind of looks like Liefeld today, with the cross hashing and the rendering of the shadows. But nothing less, man. That looks like a different person here. And I think that's it for this comic. There is a bonus classic story here. And they're supposedly Berzerker number 2. I might be wrong, but I think from what I remember looking on the websites, I might be wrong, but for what I remember looking on the internet, there was never a issue 2 of this comic. So other comic that I want to share with you is this Sergio Aragonés group, very cartoony, classic from Man magazine. For my personal taste, I think Sergio Aragonés is one of the best, if not the best cartoonist there is today, and has been active for I don't know how many years. So let's put this one under the microscope to check it out. This is the image run, which is after the first Dark Horse run, I believe. Also from the 90s, of course. Look at the art. There's some yellowing on the pages, but overall it's pretty good shape. Not a lot of grease or paints, whatever. The cartoony style of Sergio is, I mean, the storytelling, the faces, the expressions, the colors are also really helpful to sell the story. He's very funny. There is a water crisis in this story, and you know that Gru tries to solve problems, and the only thing he does is making the problems worse. Look at this spread, man. That's classic right there. If you are not familiar with the character or with Sergio art, and you are into cartoony characters or something funny like this, I highly recommend that you pick this up, because it's kind of a masterclass of how this kind of story is supposed to be. I'm gonna check this panel. Look how many characters, and they are all different and doing something. Same here. That's just amazing to me. I'm gonna search for a splash page quite literally. I think this comic, this one. Check this out. That's crazy, man. That's good cartooning right there. So that's it from Gru. There's always, I think, on pretty much all group comics. There is a kind of backup story with the dog. Really funny, no words. Good stuff here. Another comic that I really like, and is very cartoony and very indie too, is Elf Quest. I don't know if you heard about this comic before, but it's really a classic from the 70s, I believe, or 80s. Really a pioneer of indie comics and self-publishing. Let's put this one under the microscope too, because I think you're gonna really like it. And the last comic that I want to talk about today is Elf Quest. It has like a subtitle here, so I guess no, this is not the main classic series. It's a mini series, as you can see here. What I like it about this is, of course, the cover is very unique. And I also recognize this logo because I have another Elf Quest comic book. This logo here dates this comic on the 80s run. As you can see, another black and white comic. These are kind of my favorite right now. Actually, this comic is from 88, I believe. Yeah, 88. This is one of the most influential indie comic books, self-publishing, pioneers comic. Something that I really like too is that the artist and the writer is a woman, Wendy Pini, and she's been doing this for a long, long time. She's excellent, amazing cartoonist. It doesn't. I think on this comic there is a letter, but I believe that Wendy Pini actually did her lettering, maybe on later on in her career. But I have only good things to say about this comic. If you are not familiar with it, or if you know it, you definitely want to check this out. Look at this spread. This is the figure, and you have the panels to say, if you will, inside the body, which are a representation of her story, or what she's going through, her memories. Look at this. This is just great. Something that I really is hard for me to comprehend is like why this comic is not as popular as other fantasies like this. It's been going on for a lot of times. Very influential. The characters. The storytelling is great. So if you see any of the Elf Quest in the wild, please give it a shot, because I think you will be really surprised with what you're about to find. Look at this storytelling. There's a lot going on, but because the way the panels are placed, you can really go through the story without any problems. Look at these panels. You don't really see this much stuff on comics today. That kind of experimentation. There are artists, of course, that pushing the boundaries, but not like this, man. So that's it from me, from Elf Quest. Check this panel. I think that's it. That's it then. That's all the Elf Quest that I have for you today. So that's it for me today, guys. I hope that you find this video interesting and informative. Probably some comics that you haven't heard about before. Give them a shot because they are really, really good. If you like this video, please consider subscribing and leaving a comment.